Are you aware that a plot of land is not actually a plot of land? One of the greatest mistakes most real estate investors and real estate buyers make is they treat every plot of land as a fixed unit. What constitutes a plot of land in Lagos might not be the same plot of land in Abuja, Owerri, or even in Benin. Today I'll be running you through various ways that you can measure land sizes across Nigeria. Because this is very important. When you are buying that land, don't just say I'm buying a plot of land. Also ask, what is the unit of that land? But today I'll be running you through 4 major ways lands are measured in Nigeria. They are by square meter, by square foot, by acres, and by hectares. The first unit of measurement of land in Nigeria can be discussing is what we call square meter. Square meter is often measured by timesing the length of a land by the width of the land. For instance, if a land measures 50 meters by 40 meters, when you times that, that gives you about 200 square meter. And it's also important to note here that what constitutes a land, like a plot of land in Lagos, for instance, it is not the same in Abuja and other places in Nigeria. For instance, like I mentioned earlier, land in Lagos measured between 500 square meters and 600 meters for a standard plot. And in Abuja, it's 625 square meters and beyond. And it's important to also state clearly here that most often square meters are used by modern surveyors, used by real estate developers, and also some modern sales land documents. Another unit of measurement today is what I call the square foot. This is the unit of measurement that a lot of old people who are above 50 and beyond, or people who live in other states understand. Square feet is also used, has a lot of land. The old land document also have square feet, and the way to measure the square feet is approximately 1 square meter is actually about 10.76 square feet. And it's important to know that for you to convert from a square meter to a square foot, the way to, for instance, if you want to convert from a square meter to a square foot, is to obtain the number of the square meter, times it by 10.76. That will give you the number of conversion from a square meter to a square foot. And also important, if you want to convert from a square foot to a square meter, is to have the number of, for instance, let's say 100 by 50. What you need to do is to times 100 by 50, that gives you 5,000. 5,000 times 0.929034. That is the standard unit, the standard metric for measure for conversion in the real estate sector in Nigeria today. So if you convert, for instance, 10 feet by 50 feet, that gives you 5,000 feet. 5,000 feet times 0.929. Try you want to convert from square meter to square feet. Just convert to square meter, or square feet to square meter. Just times it by the length and the width, and times it by the standard units of measurement for land in Nigeria, which I'll be sharing with you, is what we call an acre. An acre is actually 6 plots by standard industry practice. A 6 plots of land, and an acre measured between 3,000 and 4,047 square meter in Nigeria. This differs because I mentioned earlier that from state to state, what constitutes a plot of land differs from one state to another. And it's also important to say this, that converting from an acre, from a square meter of an acre to a square foot, all you need to do is to times 4,047 times 10.76. That will give you approximately about 570 square feet. An hectare. An hectare is actually 2.5 acres. And by standard industry practice, an hectare is actually about 50 plot land. And it's important to note that hectare is often used for large allocation, and is the single largest unit of measurement in Nigeria for large allocation, for agricultural land, and as well as corporate master plan. For a recap, I said that 4 major land measurement in Nigeria: there are square meters, square foot, acres, and hectares. So for more information on real estate and other investments, why not contact me on my social media handles or reach out to me today by the numbers on the screen.